In this tutorial, I'll talk about content policies. As part of this tutorial, I'll talk about the basics of content policy. There's already a detailed implementation tutorial available over channel. So after this tutorial, you can check that one for more details. So with the help of these content policies, you can define the template level configuration as well as component level configurations. But both kind of configurations means either it's a template level policy or component level policy. Both are defined at the template. So these policies you can define design properties. So what is the design properties? This is a new term. Okay. So earlier when we used to have static templates, at that time to define template level properties means the global properties, we had a design mode. Using design mode, we used to define design level properties. So, but in editable template, that design mode is not available. So we replace the design mode with these policies. So that's why it is used here like design level properties. Means these properties will be available on all the pages which were created using this template. So this term design properties taken from the static templates. Okay. So there are two kind of policies you can have, as I said earlier, page level policies and the component policies. So for demo, this is the template we created throughout this series. In last tutorial or the template related tutorial, I created this test template. So first thing you must remember, these policies are defined in structure mode, not in initial content mode. Okay, so there are two kind of, one is page level, let's say template level I would say. So if you go here, three dots, and you'll find a page policy. This policy is applicable to the page and all the pages created using this template. So this is pretty straightforward. Here you can add client libraries. Ideally, client libraries are added using the page component. We'll see that in when we start development tutorial, and those are already there on this channel. So, but still, if your template author or your author want to add some additional client libraries, means additional CSS and JavaScript. Okay, in AEM we use client library to add those. We'll see that. Okay, so that you can add using this page policies. Here you can simply click on this and you'll find your client library. Client library can be loaded by categories. We'll see that. So all the client library would be available here. You can add as per your need. Second option is specific. If you want to add any client library in your head section, right, before body, those you have to add here. And further, if you have any resource or something, you can add here. But all three sections use client library only. Okay. So this is pretty straightforward. Style, you can add some styles at your body, means your page level. We'll see that. I will cover specific this section in a style system related to tutorial. That is also important. I'll cover this part there. Another one is a component level page policy. So each component has its own page policy dialog, means page policy UI, and that is different from component to component based on the need. You can create your own as well. We'll see that in a detailed developer tutorial for that. For now, you must understand component level policies has specific sections as per the component. For example, I have a layout, right? In layout or any other component which are container kind of means if the component can hold other components, right? So layout is a container. So in this policy, if you see, there are different options, but here is the important option is allowed component. What are the component allowed to that particular layout? Okay, it only apply to this layout. Okay, because I added this policy only for this layout. Wherever on page you see this paragraph, this policy will be applied, and all the component which is allowed here will be available to add. Default component, see there's specific functionality, right? What are those functionality available when you drag and drop a particular component? We'll see this section in detail in a tutorial. I'll give you example. Let's say, for example, you have image. What are the default value when you drag and drop? So it also depend component to component, but I'll cover this in a demo so that you can better understand. Responsive settings, styles I'll cover in detail in a style system related tutorial. So this is the policy for layout container. You can open policy from here itself. You see this icon. So any component which has policy UI, there will be this icon. Okay, if you open, let's say list, open this. So you have a different options here: list settings, list items, and style. Style you will find in all the components. I'll cover this, as I said, style system related tutorial. And if you open image, you see there's a different options. So these options depend component to component. Based on your need, you define these policies UI. So when you add this policy, these policies are stored in your template. Okay, this I have already explained in detail, that in tutorial that is already available, that is implementation related tutorial. I'll just give you an idea here, and you have to go there and check that tutorial for more more understanding how it is implemented. But for just at a high level, if you see the conf, you will find your own folder or configuration. So you will have your template. Okay, here inside template, all your template will be available. So inside this, you will see your template, and you have a different sections here, like initial, where your initial content present, structure, where a structure related configuration or whatever you have that present. If you see here, so this is structure, whatever you add here, those will be present here in the nodes. Okay, there is one more section called policies. So here you define, right, what are the policies, different policy it will show you, right, what is the policy defined. So if you see here in responsive grid, this is the policy, but actually this is just a link to those policies, means reference to those policies. Actual policies will be stored here. Okay, this is my template. Inside template, this is my test template, and you have a section called policies, but here they're only references. Actual policies, if you come back and see here, there is a specific section called policies. You'll find actual policies there, whatever policies I defined. So if you check here, let me come back here, and this is my responsive grid. Okay, responsive grid means this one. We are talking about this one, this section. Okay, so for this we added this policy. You will see the path. Okay, path start from WCM. You can give your own path as well, okay, in your code base. So if I go here and check path start from here, WCM, foundation, component, responsive grid, foundation, component, responsive grid, and we retail default. So this is the policy added, right? This is the policy added for container. Even if you see the title, layout container is the title, and if I open here, this policy name is the layout container. So you can identify using that as well. If I check the another one, okay, just quickly, another one. See, it's a we retail content. We retail content is here. We retail content. So this is used, right, for the second one here. If I open this one, see the name is test policy. So these paths are, you can add your own in your code base. Ideally you should deploy, means all these things you should not do using UI, you have to do it through code base. This I have already explained. Please check that tutorial for more information. File system for this is more confusing rather than the concept. I hope you understood this content policy. This is pretty simple topic. The only complex part is how you deploy this as a file system, that I have already explained. If you have any question, please add your comment. Thank you.